Hello everyone, what's up, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's been a long time, I don't know, I'm just kidding. We had a video last week because I'm tapping into my consistency. Call me consistency queen if you like. No, don't call me that. But on a serious note, we're back this week again, and we're going to be talking about Bridgerton again because why? The second part to season 3 just dropped like today, like as we speak today, this morning. And yes, I did stay up. Well, I didn't stay up, correction. I fell asleep after work like randomly, and I randomly woke up at like 3 a.m. and I was like, this is a sign. Why not start watching now? So then I started watching it and all that, and I finished like right before I'd start work. Then now we're here after work filming this video because I really want to get out this week anyways, so I can fill my goal of 1 week videos every week, one drop video. Anyways, whatever. So I'm wearing my little shirt. You can't really see, but it says "Oui Merci" because I figure since Colin and Penelope are all about the Parisian fashion, I'm like, why not wear my shirt that says yes, thank you in French, en français, if you will. So I just wanted to be on theme. Like it was either that or like a corset or I don't know, but this felt most appropriate for the occasion, as they would say in Bridgerton. So anyways, I'm not going to lie, because it's in 2 parts, I'm like in total brain fog because it just felt like a lot of information at once. Like the first half, it was like so much things happened in that first half. First of all, like all the side characters and like everybody, and then to like to remember that, all that, plus it, like I have a good memory. I do remember it, but it's like to remember the details of part 1 transferred onto season 2 like a month later. Like, obviously, a girl had to do a little refresh and do a little rewatch of some scenes because it's like, bro, who's remembering all that? I only remember, like, the Colin and Penelope scenes. That's pretty much it. So, anyways. So, I just wrote down, like, a stream of conscious, kind of, like, on my phone, on my app, on my notes app. Because it's just like, I don't want to miss anything that I had like an actual like reaction to, because then, you know, this was a wee hour of the morning, so I was probably either anything I had an audible like reaction to, I wrote it down. So let's get into what I had to say. The episode really picks up like after, you know, the whole carriage scene. So we immediately get into when Colin's bringing Penelope inside to like announce the engagement, and so he's like, guys, me and Penelope are engaged, and everyone's like, woo, yes, like you're a star. And then Eloise is like in the corner like, okay, like she's very upset about it. So she like runs off and she's like, excuse me, and then Penelope follows her and tell him about Lady Whistledown or not. And she was like, actually, well, I need to, but I'm not right now. And Eloise is like, you're fake, like, and you've liked my brother this whole time? Like, how long have you been keeping that a secret? And I was just, at that point, I was like, Eloise, all right, like, you didn't know she likes your brother? Like, that just feels like, that's not true, right? Like, the writers just telling us that, because there's no way she didn't know that Penelope liked Colin. Like, everybody thought knew that probably. Eloise being her bestie for the restie, and like for all that time before, you really didn't know she had a crush on Colin. Okay, alright, I'm gonna believe that. Colin's like in his my wife era. He's like, yeah, I'm getting married, and what about it? So he brings Penelope to like this new house mansion thing that he's like gotten for them. Well, it's been in the family, but he's like taking ownership. He's like, yeah, that's my house thing. Give me the keys. So he brings Penelope there. But before he brings Penelope there, he goes to get her like at her house after talking to his brothers. Because his brothers were like, what the fudge? Since when did you like Penelope? Everyone's like surprised at this whole union, you know? And from Colin's perspective, I understand. But Penelope's perspective, like that girl been pining. So Colin's like, you know what? It's time, guys. Gotta go visit my fiance. So he goes to get her to bring her to the house, and he gets to the house, and Miss Federation is reading Penelope down. Like, she's like, girl, what is this? Like, you're tripping around with Colin Bridgerton, like, you entrapped him, da da da. And Colin overhears, and he's like, excuse me, don't talk to my wife like that. And I wrote down, Colin, what's a bob? Because you know he says that live. Like, that's just what I thought. I was like, Colin, what a bob indeed. That man, like, in this meantime, they're trying to set Kirsten up with like this old man. But he's like, that's a no for me. That's like, I thought Lord Devlin was probably going to circle back around, but I guess Lord Devlin was tired of their nonsense, and he was like, you know what, I'm setting sail right now. Like, I'm just leaving society. I am. So Lady Federington, like, she's hilarious, first of all. But anyways, after that scruffle, they get to the house, and Penelope's like, Colin, you do not know what you just did. Like, no one has ever defended me like that before. Okay, like, and Colin's like, oh, like, that's just natural, babe. Like, I'll always do that. You know? And so they have a little moment, because he's like, you need to see yourself the way that I see you. And it gets very steamy really fast. Hold for steam. Insert steam. Steam, 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 steam. And basically, they like had their first time, and they're very geeked up about it. And I was jaw dropped. I was. And Colin, he's like, before it even all happens, he's like, you must tell me you want me to stop. Because, you know, we're before marriage and whatever. And Penelope was like, no, thank you. I'll go ahead. Let's make out. So after this all happens, like, Penelope's like, you know, I need to tell you something. But then obviously they get interrupted by the servants knocking on the door. So then they're like, oh, gotta go. Bye. So they're having their little miscommunication trope. In the meantime, like, there's just a lot going on. Like, Lord Anderson is trying to get with Lady Bridge, and Penelope and Colin are like getting ready to go to the little engagement party that Kate is throwing, by the way. She's giving sister-in-law realness, like, but also she's giving like matriarch of the family realness. Like, she's like telling everyone like what to do exactly to the T. She's like, don't mess this up. Don't mess this up. It's my first party. So they have their little engagement party, yada, yada, yada. And then all this like gossip, like, is going on, because while like everyone's just out and about, the queen like issues a proclamation, and she's like, listen, whoever finds who Lady Whistledown is, $5,000 for you. So obviously everybody's like, whoa, that's money, that's tea right there. Now, I don't know how money and currency works like back in the days, but that's like nothing. This, like, in this day and age, $5,000, are you serious? Like, you swear say they said 5 million. You know what I mean? Maybe they did. Like, maybe that's what it was back in the day. But Cressida's like, I need that money, because remember, as I just said, they were trying to marry off that old man. So everybody is like a buzz at that. And then so at the engagement party, like, Penelope's like on ice, you know, because she's like, I don't know about this. Like, but Colin is mistaking it for like she changing her mind, like, just about life, you know. But Eloise is like really like the one pressuring her, like, you need to tell Colin, and if you don't tell him by midnight, I'm gonna do it for you. So Penelope's just like, she's kind of nervous. Her heart, she's doing some palpitations, like she cannot do it. And so Colin's like, oh, my wife, dee, 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 dee. And Penelope's like stressed out of her mind, like she is. And can I just say that Penelope looks in that outfit? Colin, I understand why you had just a random recent ooh, because those colors were not doing her a favor last season. Like, she always was stunning, but now these looks are eating, like, it's undeniable. So I understand why, you know, with this fabric, how it brings her eyes, and as he said, as her hair like cascades down her shoulder. I understand Colin, because she looks especially hot this evening. And they end up playing like charades at the party. Penelope and Eloise are absolutely giving everybody a run for their money. I guess they're the only ones who read. I'm sure the rest of the ton is literate, but it was given like they were the only ones who knew the answers to the charades. And Anthony was over here like being so competitive and so wrong. It was so funny. I love Jonathan Bailey. Like that's just bestie-kins right there. He's so bestie-kins coded. Like he just brings something to Anthony that like nobody else could. Like we're so glad for this casting. And Colin, he's just like, what's going on? And Cressida, she like hears little rumblings about like, you know, like Lady Whistledown must be like a lady of security, blah blah. She must have money, da da da. And Cressida's like, wait, that sounds like somebody that I want to be. So why not just say that I'm Lady Whistledown and I can get that money? So she does that. And Penelope, she absolutely swoons, as they would say. She faints and Colin's like, oh my gosh, my wife. And he's like, Eloise, get a cold towel. Like, somebody help. And yeah, Penelope just faints and all of us are like, girl, what's going on? Well, not even all of us, we know what's going on. But Colin's like, has she caught in the plague or something? Like, you know? So the next episode, like, you know, she like recovers or whatever, but she's still kind of staying away from Colin because she's like, how am I supposed to break this news to him? So yada yada yada. Pauline is like, they're in their honeymoon era, but like Penelope's also like trying to figure out her whole Lady Whistledown situation because she's yet to come clean to Colin. So she's doing her do, she's writing her trying to write an issue, and then Colin comes in to give her her ring and he's like, what's going on here, babe? Why are we still sick, allegedly? And she's like, oh no, I'm fine. But you should still leave just in case, like, it's contagious. And he's like, nah, like, you're my wife, I'll be by your side. Mind you, they're not even married. So Colin's just giving like, my wife, and they're not even married. Take notes, guys. So he gives her the ring, blah blah, and he's like, he notices all the ink on her hand, and he's like, what's tea? What's going on here? And she's like, nothing, I'm just writing letters because I'm so excited about our wedding. Duh. And I like that this ring wasn't passed down too. He was like, they just finished setting it. And if I know my jewelry well, setting a ring means like you made that from scratch, like, because adjusting it would be a different thing, resizing would be a different thing. But he said just set it. So Colin said, I'm gonna get my wife a ring, okay, a new ring. And we love that for you, Colin. We love that for you. But in that meantime, like Cressida is trying to like write an issue because Lady Whistledown, obviously Penelope's busy. So everybody, the queen and everybody, they're like, you need to write an issue or else you're not Lady Whistledown. And that's just simple. And she's struggling. And her mother is actually like, yeah, like, I don't know why you would even think to say that you're Lady Whistledown because you're not even smart. I was like, damn. Did you really have to say that she's not clever? Anyways, so I just want to know also that Colin saying he wants to go up to Lady Whistledown's house with a pitchfork. Oh, so she's your neighbor. More importantly, she's your fiance. More importantly, her house might be your house very soon, so you won't have to take that pitchfork far. I just thought it was funny because I literally kind of make this up. Like, he said he's going to go to her house with a pitchfork. I hate to bring it to you, bestie. But it's just going to be too easy for you to do that. I don't think it will be a challenge. And so everything's happening. Oh, I also had a note that one thing's for certain and two things are for sure, that Lady Bridgerton, she will be hungover. Like, Like, she will be hungover after a little party. She loves a party. She likes to party hard. Okay? And yeah. So moving on. Also, I have a plot that says, I love Benedict. That's all. So Eloise asked Penelope to basically like give it up. Like, she's like, it's worth nothing. But like, Eloise, she's giving the girls a kiki. She's giving the girls a room for gossip. It's not nothing. Having a kiki is everything, as a matter of fact. So, well, okay, well. And Penelope and her mom like were having a nice little conversation. And her mom was like, you know, you have to like give up all your dreams for a man. And I was like, whoa, girl, slow down. But then she was talking about herself, and I was just like, I felt bad for her because she really like, she didn't have a love match. And I think like, you know, your own experiences inform what you think about the world, you know, kind of. So like, obviously she didn't have a love match, so she didn't think love matches were possible. And that's like really just like Lady Featherington's story. Like, she's just doing the best that she can. And she said that later on in season 2. She's just doing what she thinks a mother would do. She's mothering to the highest degree, as a matter of fact. So, anyways, I just put that in there. Now, with Benedict this season, I'm sorry, babes. I love you. I love you down. But, however, I did not like that lady. I don't like her. And so, dare I say, them just cutting to random scenes of like that situation. I'm not trying to say that like it couldn't have happened once or twice, but some of the times it really seemed like it was like random cuttings, because we'd be like cutting from like middle of the day to like them, which I'm pretty sure he went there at night. So I'm like, wait, where's the timeline? Like, how is this like happening right now repeatedly for this long? You know what I mean? But then I was also like in between it too, because I was like, ooh, let me get my Benedict making out with that guy. Like, let me just get that scene real quick. Let me get that scene real quick before we do away with this storyline. You know what I mean? So I guess he did that for me. I don't know. Like, Benedict stand up. But yeah, I really just like, I loved it of him opening up to his freeness and all the possibilities of the world. However, I just didn't like the girl. So it was like, anytime like they were on my screen, I was just like, please, can we just end this scene right now? Now, all this stuff is happening, and Cressida, you know, coming and confirming that she's with Lady Whistledown. I was just like, Pen, you need to go and avenge yourself. Like, no. She cannot be coming to no ball and talking about, oh yes, it is I, and announcing herself before the queen and everything. I was vexed about that. I was like, no. I was like, no, Pen, screw what Colin has to think. Like, she's not going to take the credit for your work. The ball, like, after all that transpires, Eloise and Penelope are like, okay, maybe we need to do something. Because they wasn't going to do anything at first. And they're like, oh, let's do something. So then she goes, GTG, got to go. So she goes to her print press, or her printers, and she's like, listen, babe, I need to print this right now. Okay? And then, when this happens, Colin was stalking her because he was concerned about her, like just running off to places, and he finds out that she's Lady Whistledown. And is he upset? Yes, he is. He's crying too, in fact. It's not looking good. So Colin was like, yeah, and screw you and your family. Now, Cressida, in the meantime, she gets her little sheet together, her little print, because they were like, you have to print something. You can't just be saying you Lady Whistledown. So she prints a sheet, but oh my gosh, it's like a Bridgerton slander sheet. Like, it's all about the Bridgertons, and it's all about Violet Bridgerton, like, wanting a love match. But they were like, oh, is it actually she mistaking it for a lust match because all her kids get engaged so fast? And I was like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That's crazy. That's crazy with Cressida. Like, why would you do that? So that happens, and then everyone's reading it, and they're like, But then right after that, the real Lady Whistledown, her pages come out, Penelope. She swoops in and saves the day, and everybody's like, oh, what's this flop sheet? And then they read the real one, and they're like, oh yeah, this is the real Lady Whistledown. I wrote down this line because it's so funny. The Featherington sisters, they were like, how many eyes do you think are in the ton? And they're like, almost a double amount of people, I assume. Like, what are they even talking about right now? Like, they can't be serious. They're so funny. And I also just love Eloise and Benedict. Like, I saw that one video, that interview with Claudia and Luke, and it was like, who do you most ship on Bridgerton? And then Luke was like, Claudia just ships us. I just think you ship our characters. And she was like, no, like, you know, but in a perfect world, if they weren't brother and sister for real, like, they actually just have, like, they're just good scene partners, even as brother and sister too. So it's like, I love this, and I'm excited for whoever sees this next, because I feel like because they're so close to each other, we'll get even more scenes of them, like, being, like, you know, comfort and advisory to, like, the other ones, you know? Like, even more swing scenes, probably. So, I just put that in there, because I love that. But anyways, the second part of the season, like, we only had, like, one episode of happiness, because, like, as soon as Colin found out that Penelope was Lady Whistledown, it was angst. It was just a disgusting amount of angst for, like, the rest of the time. Like, he did not want to be near that goal. Like, he was like, I will never forgive you. But he was like, I still have to go through with my wedding because I love her, unfortunately. But, like, yeah, no, she's pissing me off. So they do get married, and Penelope looked stunning, by the way. So they do get married, and I feel like on the wedding day, they did come, like, very, very close to reconciliation. But then when the queen showed up and was all like, oh, I know it's one of you Bridgertons, I think he kind of got reminded of everything again. And he was like, I can't do this. So then he was beefing again. And he was like, I'm gonna sit on the sofa, I'm gonna sleep on the sofa, like, you get away from me. And I just feel like I just had enough. I had enough. And then Benedict and his lady friend finally break up, thankfully. But the conversation was really, really good though. Like, the conversation about, like, being in this world and, like, either not being, like, being entrapped by a woman or, like, a guy, like, is no matter. And I was like, real. So, but they had that conversation before. I'm pretty sure I'm mixing it up. But they had that conversation, like, right before, like, Benedict's like, you know? But then they break up, like, later on, and he's like, because she decided that she doesn't want to share him with anyone, but Benedict was like, listen, I'm not ready to be tied down. So he's like, bye. Goodbye. For Colin Penelope, it was soon coming, but then it wasn't. So he was sleeping on the sofa and he was giving attitude. But then he started to come around because, like, Cressida shows up and she, like, kind of, like, blackmails Penelope, and she's like, you're gonna have to pay me, like, $10,000, thank you, because I found out who he was. She did a little digging at the print press, and she found out that Lady Whistledown was a redhead and, like, all these other things, and she was like, oh my gosh, Penelope. So now she started blackmailing, and Colin was like, I'm not gonna stand for this. But then he absolutely goes in and makes it worse. Like, Colin, what do you have to say for yourself? Like, he goes in to help and makes everything worse. It's kind of like him trying to help her get a husband. Made everything worse. Colin, I love you, babe, but how about you just not get involved from now on? Leave it to the woman. I'm not saying you're not capable, babe, but just leave it to them. Okay? And so, yeah. And also, I put a little note there. Bro, Gregory is taller than Penelope. Like, what? That man is growing so fast. Like, soon it wasn't be his season. Damn. Anyways, so Colin's kind of starting to come around, kind of. Like, we see him, like, reading his old, like, all the letters Penn has ever sent him. Oh my gosh, he saved them. That's kind of crazy of him. he saved all of them, and he was like rereading them, and he was like, yeah, I might be doing too much on my wife. He comes to that conclusion. And so the last ball of the season is kind of like a Featherington sister ball, and Penelope like pays like to make it extravagant, like behind everyone's back, like, and give it credit to the mom. So it's like this huge like butterfly ball, and that's when Penelope basically tells Colin that like she doesn't need the things that he can do for her as love. She needs him. She just needs him, his support, his presence, and his affection. She doesn't need him to fix anything for her. And as she should. That was a nice little speech she got going on. So basically they worked out that they were going to like make this Lady Whistledown situation work. So she ends up doing a little email, a little letter to the Queen and to Lady Bridgerton, and then they make a little plan. They show up to the butterfly ball. The Queen shows up, and then she's like, so what's tea? Lady Whistledown requests an audience, and that's what I'm going to give her. So I'm going to give her time to make her claim to the throne. And so Penelope like comes out, well, the Queen points at her and she comes, makes her little claim, says her apologies, and Colin apparently is on the sideline. He's like, yeah, that's my wife. That's my wife. So after the whole scene, everyone's like proud of her. Like Lady Danbury is like, oh my gosh, I always knew it was you. Or I don't know if it's always, but she knew it was her. And Colin was like, basically he just like reached a new level of Dawn battery. He was like, to know you as a powerful woman and to just be around you, be in your orbit, knowing that you can be all these things and still love me. I am most fortunate indeed to just be loved by you. And if that's my only purpose in life, I'll be good. So he did a real wraparound. He did a real wraparound in the season. And he was like, so will you honor me in this dance? And everybody's having a little dance. And then end of season, Eloise decides to go to Scotland with Francesca. Oh, by the way, she got married. As I said, there's just so many plots to think about. It was actually too much for my brain to comprehend. Not even to comprehend, but to follow. You know what I mean? It's like, even I was trying to do a rewatch like before, and just to refresh on the Pauline and the Pauline part. And I would do like some zoom clicking, like just click. And I swear it was about like 10 minutes for some episodes where I just fast forward, no Colin and Penelope, 5 more minutes, no more. So like their scenes were like very scattered, and like so much was going on in the meantime. So yeah, in the meantime, Francesca got married to John. But we found out in the end that Francesca said she's not really capable of butterflies, but she might be, because she was simply having a butterfly gag at the butterfly ball in her stomach because John's cousin showed up, Michaela, and she was like, oh, you're stunning, babe. Well, she didn't say that, but she was thinking it. So yeah, so Eloise, all of them, Michaela, John, Francesca, they went to Scotland. Benedict's like, okay, well, I'm staying behind for the season. I'll be home. And Colin and Penelope, they have a child. They have a son. And the Featherington sisters also have their babies. But I also want to make it known that when they're all pregnant, like Penelope's kid definitely looks younger, but he doesn't look that much younger. So when was his child conceived exactly? Was it during the mirror scene? Was it the scene we saw after that? I need answers. How old is he in comparison to his cousins? I need to know. And yeah, that was really the end of the season. And Benedict, I think they're teasing him to be next, because honestly, I can't really handle it being anybody else. Like, I don't feel like they have anything else for Benedict on screen. Like, I feel like they've stretched his story as long as can be, to be honest. So I think his season like literally has to be next, because literally he's been behind the scenes for long enough. Bring my man to the forefront. Thank you. And the fact that you said I'll be hiding behind a mask, avoiding all eligible girls or whatever, makes me think that he will be doing exactly the opposite. Love that. Love that for me. But all in all, this season was quite interesting. In the sense that I don't really feel like there was enough Colin and Penelope scenes. This is me coming to you live from editing because my mic got corrupted. I swear I cannot film a YouTube video in peace. Anyways. But basically what I was saying in the end was that I felt like we didn't get enough lovey-dovey Colin and Penelope scenes. I feel like we got the best friends to lovers in the first part. This part we got them finally getting together. But soon after, we were just met with a bunch of angst, and it was just okay, thanks, but we wanted to see a wraparound again, you know what I mean? I feel like by the time it wrapped around, there was 7 minutes left of the episode, and I was like, oh, okay. And so I really just feel moral of the story is we all fell victim to this press tour because they were working overtime, rent was due, probably they got some overtime money too for the work that they did, because let's just say they had us really thinking that there was just so much more to come in the romance department, which I just felt there was more plot for sure. But it's for example, Colin and Penelope talking about their letters and stuff like that on Colin's book, and Pen wanted to edit it. I feel it would have been such a cute scene to see them just in their home talking about writing, and maybe just both of them just laying in bed, and Penelope's reading Colin's what he has so far, and he's nervous to hear her opinion, and then they're giggling, and then they just share a moment in their house about something that one of their hobbies, at night. That could have been so cute. Literally anything to give us more after the angst, because I feel we just went from angst to quick reconciliation to yeah, we have a baby, and I was okay, slay, but come on, and so yeah, that's my feelings. And so I was still sad, but I just felt somebody lied, somebody lied, they was lying. Anyways, but I've also been seeing some hate recently, about certain new characters and stuff like that, and I feel my stance on it is just you technically don't really have an opinion. Sorry, if you're not working in the Bridgerton studios, or if you're not writing the scripts yourself, making the decisions, why are you commenting? You know what I mean? And it's the new recasted role for Michaela. She's stunning. Why would you not want her on your screen? Why would you not want to experience that firsthand, that beauty? So I don't know, it's giving weird behavior, any aunties coming out the woodwork just because of that. I get it, you want your things to be close to the source material, but bro, it's literally 2024. Whatever even sticks to any source material that it's come from. Welcome the new changes and be diverse. Stop getting your wires crossed. This is, sometimes it's not a democracy when it comes to shows. Take it or leave it. So if you don't like it, you don't have to come back and watch. And so yeah, that's my tea on the season. But overall, it's a really good watch. I was sat both days, so let's not really do too much and act like I wasn't present. So it's yeah. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. It really means so much. I said this video is going to be short, but I guess I'm just a liar. Call me Cressa the Cowper, because I'm just saying anything these days. But hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye. Also, editor me coming back in. a point that I missed from this audio that I'm re-listening back. But not that I'm not here for the Francesca storyline, like the new Francesca and Michaela storyline, but at the same time, I feel like if we're always going to get to that point, why give us so many scenes of her and John, you know what I mean? Like, if we sway in from the source material, like, we don't have to do everything by the book, you know what I mean? So, like, if you're going to give that in the end, some scenes could have been cut down in the hopes of fixing the whole angst, too much angst situation at the end. Like, I'm sorry, like, you know? Like, even, like, so many of the couples I was focused on this season, we only got to see even, like, just part of their journey anyways. So it's like, I understand for, like, time-wise, you need to share plots with other characters. But it's like, at this point, we shared with, like, 5 characters, and all of them went nowhere. Like, Benedict's thing went nowhere. Like, he ended up breaking with her at the end of the season. So, like, if he wasn't even going to carry it into the beginning of the next season, then it's like, we could have used that screen type for something else. Anyways, those are just my thoughts. Don't count to me. Okay, bye. Okay, bye. For real. This time.